I wanted to do a few videos that will help a student learn a foreign language through a textbook. These textbooks use the accepted jargon for language study, and they're often very good, depending only on the student's motivation and time management. If a student really wants to learn it and can make time for it, very important things. There's so many good materials out there online, video presented, or just handheld books that do a great job. And some have become classics because they're so effective. However, to really make the material work for you, you need to be able to understand the language of grammar, or the vocabulary of grammar, and not just the grammar of a specific language. We're not talking vocabulary, we're not talking phrases or things like that. We're talking about the way the words work together in all languages to convey meaning from one mind to another through signage. And a lot of language is going to be, especially as you enter it to learn it, you'll learn a reading level of it or a speaking level of it. So you're learning the signs that allow you to bring out the thought and to share it with your public. It could be one other person or more than one. But specific languages might have a set of protocols or rules that are unique to that language, and they're usually at the surface level, and these rules often change over time. For example, in English, in modern English, we don't really distinguish between the you that we use to address one person, what we call you singular, and then the you, a you, like the second person, a pronoun, the you for the plural. If you're from different regions, however, you can try to make some distinguishing efforts there. For example, the South will often say you all when they're talking to more than one person, and you when they're talking to just one person. But many times we'll just use the you as interchangeable, meaning it could be used for one person, second person, one individual, or it could be used for a group of individuals. We'll just say you either way. That wasn't the case in the middle or early part of the history of the English language. There were distinguishing marks for the you plural and the you singular, as there still are in many current modern foreign languages. So there are certain things, certain rules that are on the surface, and they change over time in a language. And as you find yourself at a certain time and in a certain culture, you need to pay attention to that as you're learning a practical, level of the language, so that you can, be a good tourist or live there in that country for a couple years. What I want to do is really go down as far as we can to just talk about the way grammar generally works. Okay, to find the rules that are at play for all grammars, for all different languages. And I don't know all the languages, so I'm supposing that I'm assuming that these are going to be more or less universal rules. Okay, that's really where I want to get at and try to find the language that is used down there. Okay, and the best approach to language learning as an adult using a book or whatnot, and it is to get the language down of that deep grammar, and to really focus on clausal grammar. Okay, so the approach we're going to take in these videos is just to understand what a clause is and how a clause will give you the key to finding all the moving parts. All right, of the most streamlined version of this deep grammar. We're not going to go in any sort of intermediate or advanced land, if you will, but we will just try to acquire a beginner's grasp of this deep grammar. And the clause is the best way to go for this. And the clause truly is a universal concept. All languages will be operating if they operate effectively to to convey messages um, from one active author. I'm an author right now because I'm originating the message to an audience. It's going to happen through clauses. So let's spend some time just really trying to figure out what exactly a clause is.